friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Glennie, and today we're gonna talk about something different. It's not technically cozy. It is a game that is very similar to Overwatch. So if you are familiar with Overwatch, you may know which game I'm gonna be talking about today. But before we get started, make sure you give this video a thumbs up to show your support, and also click on the subscribe button if you never want to miss another video from Glennie Plays. Now, enough of me rambling, let's get started. So the game I'm going to be talking about today is called Marvel Rivals. Developed by NetEase, Marvel Rivals is a superhero team-based PvP shooter, which is very similar to the game I mentioned earlier, which is Overwatch. It is set to release to the public on December 6, 2024, and I did try it during the closed beta, so I wanted to share my thoughts with it. So in case you didn't know, I used to play Overwatch religiously with my friends on the PS4. We would grind on competitive games. It was literally something I always looked forward to playing along with Destiny. So when Marvel Rivals came out, I was very intrigued because it was very similar to Overwatch, but it was Marvel superheroes. So first and foremost, I am a huge fan of Marvel. So when I logged into play and checked out the character selection, I was actually pretty surprised of how many characters I can choose from. It was actually really interesting to see Magik and Luna Snow be part of the character rosters to play, and you don't often really hear about those heroes because you know about Iron Man, you know about Spider-Man, Hulk. So it's just nice to see other heroes from the comics get to shine in this game. The two things that I really enjoyed the most, aside from the character roster list, is the character interaction. So that's whether they're talking to each other or through the battle, like the gameplay itself. For instance, Jeff the Landshark, which comes in a little bit later in the beta playtest, most adorable character, and he does play healer, but he has a specific interaction with Star-Lord, who actually calls the shark cuter than Rocket. And then you have Magneto and Wanda, who talk about their father-daughter relationship, which you actually don't really see in the movies. But I do like that they hone in on some unique character elements from the comics into the game. When it comes to unique character interactions with each other during battle or gameplay, there are a lot that I actually really enjoyed. For example, Rocket and Jeff can ride on Groot's shoulders and take less damage. And then there's Rocket, who supply a specific device just for Punisher to provide him infinite ammo and faster firing, which I personally thought was ridiculous. But as a team, it actually helps a lot when you are playing DPS. Hela can instantly resurrect Loki while waiting to respawn, or give Loki more armor if he's still alive. Luna Snow can infuse her ice energy into Namor, who then can tap into the ice energy to power up his abilities. Scarlet Witch can infuse chaos energy into Magneto to enhance his great sword, and then Magik opens a portal for Black Panther, who can use it to teleport to other locations on the map. Those are some examples, but there are a lot, and I'm assuming if NetEase really hones in on this game and adds in more characters to the roster, etc., I can see how team gameplay is going to be so effective and important. Another element that I really enjoyed about the game is the visual and the music. Well, the music also includes audio, like the sound effects and stuff, but when it comes to the visuals, it has that cartoony comic vibe. So if you grew up to reading these comics, or even as a child waking up every Saturday morning to watch these old school 90s cartoons, it gives you that nostalgic feeling. So I really like how that element kind of plays into the game. And when it comes to the audio music, I think it's pretty on point. I do really enjoy destroying some of the environment in the map. There are a lot of destructible environment into the gameplay, especially when you're using your power, so it makes it a little bit more realistic. It's not just pots and pans that you can just shoot, but it's actual elements of the game, like walls being broken. It gives it life, and it just makes it feel a little bit different when you play the game. Aside from the characters being unique in its own way, you can also unlock special outfits or cosmetics for the characters. I don't think there was a lot that you could really unlock in the game during the playtest, but I'm assuming in the future, once it's out in the public, and I'm hoping that NetEase would really hone in on this game, that we'll be getting other costumes that we can unlock that relates back to the comics. I know cosmetics is a big thing in Overwatch that I also really enjoyed. However, I don't know if I would like to have the superheroes in like a Halloween costume or a theme, you know. I just like want to be able to unlock costumes that I have seen in the comics or in the TV shows, or the cartoon shows. I think those are more tangible for me in my personal experience, just because it just goes back to its roots without straying too far from the comics itself. During the playtest, there was only one server that was available, which is the North American server. I don't know if NetEase is going to open up several other servers for other people to be able to play for their ping. I know this could be an issue in the long run, especially if you're not from North America and you see a huge difference in the ping. It could definitely make the gaming experience not as enjoyable as most people would. I understand that during the time that I did play this game, it was a playtest, so a lot of it is gonna be reliant on our feedback. But one of the things I do want, and I'm hoping that they would improve on, is the balancing and matchmaking. I find that if you are matchmaked with somebody who is obviously better than you and you're not as great, or you're just starting and you're just learning, it makes it a little bit unplayable because you're not enjoying yourself. Like, I'd rather play with people on my skill level, however that looks like, you know. But I hope that they do change it and they make it a little bit more balanced so people can enjoy it a little bit more. This next thing is probably the most frustrating, but I think this is frustrating for a lot of games that require teamwork, such as Overwatch, League of Legends, Valorant, etc. But understanding your role and like locking into the specific roles. I know because this is a playtest, they may not have any roles that you could lock, but it would be nice to choose a role that you are most comfortable with and then like stick to that, versus having everybody just play DPS and then one person plays healer or something like that. It just makes it hard for the teamwork to actually work properly. This was a big issue with Overwatch from my personal experience, was just people not understanding their role, or we don't have like a tank that could sustain all the damage, and most of us are playing just like DPS and one person is playing like a healer role or a support role, right? So I think having that option to lock in your role, like it doesn't have to always be that case, but it would be nice for, let's say, competitive, that you could lock in your role. But let's say if it's just like a quick match, maybe it could be a free-for-all. Like you can have those options to choose from. And also, because some people are going to be new, and I'm assuming because this is a Marvel superhero type game, this is going to attract kids who are going to be interested in playing the game. And if they're not familiar with these type of games, it would be nice to have some sort of like a tutorial mode to understand each role and like what they're meant to do. Not so much only just the characters and like what their abilities are, but more so like, hey, if you are a healer, or in this case from Marvel Rivals, it's strategist for the support team, this is what you're meant to do as a strategist. Something simple like that, just so you understand why you're choosing the characters that you're choosing. You may not have to follow it, but it just be nice as like knowledge to learn as you're starting out the game. I know there's a million YouTube videos out there, and there will be about how to play the game properly, etc., and like choosing your roles, but it would just be nice to have it in the game as well. While I did enjoy the visuals of the game, as I mentioned before, I think that sometimes it could be a huge visual cluster because there's a lot going on a lot of the times, especially because they're superheroes, so they have a lot of superpowers and there's a lot of things going on. So maybe just, you know, clean it up a little bit, make it a little bit easier for people to kind of follow. Sometimes I get confused. I'm just like, where am I? What's happening? What's going on? There's just too many things going on all at once, especially when people are doing so many ultimates at once. You're just like, what's happening? Other than that, I actually really enjoyed the game itself. So I'm actually really excited for it to finally be releasing on December 6th of this year. I will be playing it on the PC, but it's also available on console. I believe it's free to play. There is crossplay in quick match, but in competitive, I believe there is no crossplay, which makes sense because it's fair. It is competitive, but in quick match you can play with people who have consoles or who has PC. But I believe in your options you can choose if you want crossplay to be enabled or not. But other than that, yeah, I'm really excited for it to come out. I haven't had really bad experiences with the game itself. There are just a few things, a few bugs that I'm hoping that they would improve. And again, I really wish and I hope that NetEase will really hone in on this game. I know it is free to play, and I hope that it's not going to be too overwhelming, too extra of everything, and kill the game. Because I think it's going to do really well if they really improve it and really listen to the players and like what they want to see, the feedback, and be really hard on any feedback reports for toxicity. That's the one thing I will ever commend is toxicity in gameplay. I'm a very nice person and I don't like it when people are mean. So I do hope that they do listen to any feedback reports that are not like fake or like exaggerating, but are legit. Like if people are actually being mean and toxic, like I hope they do get some sort of penalty for it. That's the one thing that I really will commend Riot for the most part, is that you can send in your feedback. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you did try out this game or if it's something that you do want to try out yourself. I know this is a different game than what I normally would put out there. It's not exactly cozy, but it is Marvel and I couldn't help myself. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. I'm interested to know if this is a game that you're going to be playing when it comes out in December, or if it's a game that you did try out and you didn't like. I would love to hear more about your experience. But before I go, make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it, or click on subscribe to make sure you never miss another Glenny Plays video. Until then, see you later. Bye!